This is Channel 4, Colorado's news channel. From the largest broadcast news gathering team in Colorado, this is News Center 4 Late Edition with Bob Palmer, Linda Farrell, Larry Green, and Ron Zapolo. Now, this is News Center 4 Late Edition.
Good evening and welcome to News Center 4. Here's what's happening tonight. What was a tropical storm last night is tonight a full-fledged hurricane, and it's taking aim at the coast of the Carolinas. Right now, Hurricane Bob is about 25 miles off the coast of Georgia, and it's heading due north towards Charleston, South Carolina. Mike Matthews has the latest on that city's preparations tonight in this News Star 4 report.
People were preparing for the worst in Isle of Palm, South Carolina. Winds whipped along the beachfront. There were some who wanted to be in the middle of it all, others trying to make the best of the situation. But most were like restaurant owner John Burgess.
If they say evacuate the island, we're going to evacuate. That's all you can do. You got to go with the flow.
There was no ordered evacuation of the island, but some vacationers decided to leave, even though they weren't sure where to go.
Well, it doesn't bother me a whole lot, except I've got a little baby, and, don't want to take any chances.
So where are you going to be going tonight?
Well, I don't know, just somewhere north of here, I guess, or inland somewhere. I'm not exactly sure.
We have given some thought to leaving, and we're just kind of waiting it out, so we may be leaving. We don't know.
Have you ever gone through one of these before?
I have not. First experience.
And how do you feel right now?
I am concerned.
In Charleston, South Carolina, Mike Matthews for the News Star Network.
Larry Green has been tracking Hurricane Bob all night. He'll have the latest on the storm's strength and movement in just a few minutes.
Actor Rock Hudson is still in the hospital tonight, and doctors still deny knowing what's wrong with him. During his last public appearance, he looked rather gaunt. He's been at the American Hospital in Paris since Sunday. The hospital specializes in AIDS research, but a spokesman will say only that tests run so far have been inconclusive.
At this moment, the results of these investigations have been inconclusive, and the doctors are withholding further information before making a diagnosis.
We've had a report that he was in and out of a coma. Can you confirm or deny that?
I can deny that.
Hudson's secretary is the only person who's been allowed to visit him, and he says the actor is feeling fine. Alabama Governor George Wallace is back in his hospital room tonight, and the doctors are optimistic after his 4-hour operation. Today, surgeons burned about 60 little lesions at the base of Wallace's spinal cord in hopes it's going to alleviate some of the pain that the governor has suffered for many years. And doctors say, so far, so good.
I would say that his condition is stable, and that his initial report is that he has experienced relief of pain in his legs.
That's a good sign, but the doctors say it's going to be at least several days before they'll know if that pain is gone for good.
A traffic accident on I-70 Sunday night changed Kimberly Cooper's life forever, and now she is reaching out for help in stabilizing a very uncertain future. Sunday night, she and her husband of 5 weeks were driving along I-70 near Lookout Mountain when his truck brakes went out and skid more than 200 feet and then crashed. Husband Robert Cooper died in that accident. Today, his wife left St. Anthony Hospital badly cut and bruised, headed for his funeral in Kansas City. And now she is asking for help in finding her dog Milton, who was traveling with them when the accident took place.
He's all I got left now. I don't have my husband.
Dog was lost Sunday night in the area of I-70 and Lookout Mountain. If you have seen Kimberly's dog, a poodle with white hair and black flecks and a long tail, please contact this number. That's 364-6280, 364-6280.
Rescue workers in Colombia tonight say they doubt there are any survivors of a plane that crashed in the Amazon jungle this evening. It was a Colombian Air Force plane. It was carrying about 74 people. The pilot radioed the tower. He said, "We're falling." And then they lost radio contact. The plane had taken off just 6 minutes before it went down. Protests against the white racist government in South Africa are more subdued this evening. 665 people have been arrested over the last 4 days, and the government says that's what's holding down the violence. Also, France today withdrew its ambassador and banned any new business investments in South Africa.
More news coming up in just a moment. A housewife tells a government panel how pornography ruined her marriage.
And Congress may take up the question of whether the government should continue to print Playboy magazine in Braille.
In weather, you've heard about Bob. A little later on, I'll introduce you to Ignacio and Jimena.
Okay, highlights of tonight's Broncos scrimmage, and I'll have all the night's baseball.
And the Front Range echoes tonight with the sounds of brass. Thousands turn out at Mile High for drums along the Rockies. Stay set on full.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Collins. The pages of Denver's history are overflowing with art, folklore, and music. Channel 4 invites you to have fun in the flavor of the Old West at the 4 Mile Historic Park Folk Life Festival. Pioneers of all ages can return to the days of fiddling and frontier living. So call 399-1859 for ticket information and join us Friday, August 2nd through Sunday, August 4th at Denver's 4 Mile Historic Park.
Boulder police say a 21-year-old CU student was lying in bed when he was axed to death, allegedly by his roommate. 39-year-old Robert Cochran is being held without bond as a suspect in the murder of his roommate, Gary Webster. Neighbors say that both Webster and Cochran were shy and quiet, and there was no indication that the two were having any trouble. Formal first-degree murder charges expected to be filed against Cochran next Wednesday. A big drug bust in Steamboat Springs today. A 4-month investigation led to 8 people being arrested and 7 others being sought tonight, and the seizure of quantities of cocaine and other drugs. Town Police Chief Roger Johnson says drugs and drug dealers won't be tolerated in Steamboat.
Authorities say that they are ready to go to a grand jury with a case against the Texas Mafia. It's called the Texas Mafia because many of the alleged ringleaders are from Texas, including John Cerrone, who admits he wants to be Denver's new godfather. Authorities now say they have the evidence to break up this large crime ring.
We're interested in filing some very good cases that put 4 to 6 of the principals into prison and take them off the streets for a lengthy period of time. That will, in fact, break up this organization.
It is thought that the Texas Mafia deals in both drugs and prostitution. It will be at least 10 more days until a controversial South Broadway adult theater can open for business. The license for the After Dark Theater was pulled July 10th after undercover police officers arrested 65 men for allegedly engaging in sex acts inside the theater. Today, that was extended till August the 5th, at which time authorities will decide if shop owners should be penalized further.
Stronger laws against pornography and better enforcement of old laws are the topics being studied by a federal commission meeting in Chicago. The commission is concerned with the spread of pornography, and today members looked at slides of confiscated explicit pictures and heard testimony from a woman who says that her husband became obsessed with pornography.
Soon his life was so saturated with the garbage that he began living a life of fantasies. It robbed me of a loving relationship, and our sex life turned to his masturbating with his pornography.
The hearing was also attended by representatives of some magazines and the ACLU, and they say the commission is stacked and working for more censorship. And the U.S. Senate may soon consider a measure to stop the Library of Congress from translating Playboy into Braille. Out of the thousands of magazines available in this country, the National Library makes only 36 available for the blind. The House last week cut funding for the translation of Playboy, and the congressman who led the move wants the Senate to do the same.
I've read the articles. I had to read them to see what was in them, of course, and they are obscene. They're smut.
But a spokesman for the country's largest organization for the blind doesn't agree, saying that Playboy's a reputable magazine and blind people should be able to read it like everyone else.
We'll be back right after this with the sights and sounds of drums and bugles as they make music at Mile High. Drums along the Rockies. We'll go there live right after this.
We're Colorado, proud and on the move, working together, KCNC, Channel 4 and you, Colorado's news channel, KCNC.
Night of marching and music is greeting thousands of people at Mile High Stadium tonight. One of our Live 4 units is at Mile High, where Kathy Walsh fills us in on drums along the Rockies competition. Kathy.
Linda, it's been a night of flag waving and fanfares here at Mile High Stadium. Right now, they're preparing for the finale of the 15th annual Drums Along the Rockies Drum and Bugle Corps contest. The competition is winding down after some of the finest groups in the nation have strutted their stuff. These are the freelancers from Sacramento, California. There were also groups from Wyoming, Kansas, Oregon, and of course, Denver's Blue Knights. You may not be aware of this, but a corps is made up of folks from 12 to 21 years of age. I'm told these young performers practice 12 hours a day all summer long, perfecting their music and marching routines. They're on the road about 50 days each summer, touring from one coast to the others in a series of one-night stands, sort of like a very large rock band. Their expertise and dedication are obvious. It's not many a young person who would work their whole summer and pay to do it. It's contests like this one held here tonight that all the work is aimed at. We don't have a winner yet, but I can tell you from sitting here and watching that all the folks here tonight deserve high marks. Channel 4 sponsored tonight's event, and our own Ed Green was the master of ceremonies to a crowd of approximately 8,000. This is Kathy Walsh reporting live from Mile High Stadium. Back to you, Linda.
Sounds good and looks good, and lots of talented young people. Thank you, Kathy. Bob.
The nearly 41,000 Boy Scouts in the Denver area now have a new Colorado summer camp. It was formally dedicated during ceremonies tonight at the town of Elbert. It's named in honor and memory of Chris Dobbins, longtime president of the Denver Area Boy Scouts Council.
Larry Green will be here in just a minute to tell us what the weather's like in the best washed city in the country.
Tomorrow we could dry out. Oh. We'll be right back.
Oh.
Wondering how to find the freshest, tastiest fruits and vegetables in Colorado? It's easy. Now you can just look it up. That's right, now you can choose where to get the best produce from the Colorado Farm Fresh Directory. Channel 4 and the Department of Agriculture put out these free directories, which are a must for a hungry Coloradan.
We're very excited about the opportunity to put in the hands of consumers a guide that gives them the address, the hours that things are open. I'm hopeful that this will go into the glove box of every consumer in the state of Colorado.
The directory will list roadside stands, farmers markets, and orchards where you can get these things firsthand, and also farms where you can pick your own vegetables and fruits.
How do we get them?
Write to me and send me a lot of money. No,
that's how you get them.
They're free if you write to Box 4444, Denver, Colorado, 80204. Here, we have a picture for you right there. Farm Fresh Directory, Post Office Box 4444, Denver, Colorado, and the zipperoo on that is 80204. You wouldn't believe what I've been promised to give up my only copy of this book right now.
And he still won't give it up.
I will not. This is very valuable, and of course we got up to the Polizzi Farms and the Cicada Farms up in Brighton just to sample some of this stuff earlier in the week, and it was fun.
Lots of people called in for that too.
Yes, and you can't call. You have to send.
You've got to write.
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Tell us about weather today.
Hurricanes seem to be the thing of the day. 3 of them out there today, and of course we talked about Bob earlier. We'll introduce you to 2 others just a little bit later. But first of all, let's check on Denver weather. Want to see what's going on in our town first. Outside in Denver at this hour, it's 64 degrees, kind of cool. The high today was kind of cool at 77 degrees, and the overnight low is 56. Humidity right now is at 58%. It's way up there because of that rain we had earlier. South wind at 12, and we have a rising barometer at 30.06 inches. Now let's take a look, see what's going on. Here's the other hurricane, or one of the other hurricanes we were talking about. We were talking about Bob right there along the coast of Florida, moving up into South Carolina, and it should go ashore probably in the next 6 or 7 hours. But this is Jimena, and it is moving to the west at a very slow rate of speed, and it's not threatening anyone. Farther out in the Pacific, there is Hurricane Ignacio, and a lot of vacationers this time of the year are concerned about that because it's about 656 miles southeast of Hilo. That's on the Big Island, and that's on the east side of Hawaii. Now, if it continues its westward path at about 12 miles per hour, it looks like it'll go to the south of the Big Island and no real threat. Maybe they'll get some rain up to the north out of that. But if it veers off and goes to the northwest, then they'll have problems. But it looks like we have at least 2 days before landfall on that one. Now, let's take a look around our region, and on the map for tomorrow, we're calling for things to change around here a bit. We're looking for high pressure to set up over Colorado, and as a result, most of that moisture is going to be to the east of us. We'll have moisture all the way from northeast Mexico, swinging up into the northeastern part of the country. Showers and thunderstorms there. Some of those could be heavy. Only isolated showers right here in Colorado and throughout the Intermountain West. Heaviest rain around here today, well, it's to the north of us, and that was up at Cheyenne, where they got 3/4 of an inch of rain, and I'm sure that didn't do Frontier Days too much good up there, but it was in a short period of time, and it looks like things have dried out in that region. Temperatures for the west. For tomorrow, we're looking at 80s and 90s in the northwest. Still quite hot up there in that desert spot. Down in the southwest, in the real desert, 107 degrees. Forecast for Phoenix tomorrow. Mostly 80s in the east, 90s in the southeastern part of the country. Showers, thunderstorms, humidity, you name it, they'll have it down there tomorrow. And 86 will be the high in Miami. Now, around here, the weather watchers have been reporting temperatures that are slightly cool for this time of the year. Normal high in Denver this time of the year is about 88 degrees. We had 80s on the east side of town today. And down toward the southeast, Castle Rock with only 77 degrees. Looking to the west, 60s and 70s on the west side of town. Wheat Ridge could only manage 68 degrees this afternoon, and on the west side, temperatures mostly in the 70s. Now, coming up for, well, actually, this is what's going on in the state today. These are the high temperatures around the state. 60s in the high country. They did cool off, and they had widely scattered showers. Western Colorado cooled off today as well. 70s and just a few 80s over there today, and in eastern Colorado, 70s and 80s. Now, here's what's going to go on for the state tomorrow. Drying out. That's the way we're pegging it right now. We'll have 80s in the west, and nighttime lows will be in the 50s. Only a slight chance for showers statewide. 70s for the highs in the mountains, and in eastern Colorado, mostly 80s tomorrow. The highs are actually mostly 80s tomorrow. 79 is almost 80. 79 to 89 for the highs, and look for a warm-up after that. Here's Denver's forecast. You'll like it through the next 5 days. Tonight evening, thunder showers, clearing a little bit later. I think the threat of showers is just about gone. A low of 56 degrees. Then tomorrow, we're calling for lots of sunshine and only an isolated thunderstorm, a high of 82 and a low of 58. And your extended forecast should have highs in the mid to upper 80s and only a slight chance for those thunder showers. If you get one, it might be a good one.
Hurricane Bob's just barely a hurricane, isn't it? Winds.
Hurricane Bob is a blessing in disguise. They should get 4 to 8 inches of rain along the coastlines of North and South Carolina, and they have been dry there for the longest time, so they can use it. And you know what?
It'll go all the way up into New York.
New York and Pennsylvania are really rooting for this one to make it up into their region.
Okay, come on, Hurricane.
You bet.
Right. Don't leave us, because Ron's Polo's coming up next with the sports. Demolition Derby in Greeley tonight as the Bronco rookies show their stuff.
And make it a hitting streak of 27 straight games for Hale Boggs, that is. Ron and the Sports Report is coming up next.
Ron's here with the sports. We've got to apologize. We said that Hale Boggs had a hitting streak of 27 games. He was the congressman, the late congressman.
This is Wade.
It's Wade Boggs.
I've decided, Bob, I'm going to, after the news, spend about 10 minutes with Linda and go over Wade Boggs. Hitting. Man's got a 344 lifetime average, and she calls him Congressman Hale Boggs.
Yeah.
Don't understand that, and he's very upset about it, too.
I'll bet.
Before we get to Hale Wade Boggs, big news up in Greeley. The Bronco Wednesday night scrimmage, a tradition started last year, carried on this year. The rookies were hitting tonight, and a lot of them looked good. Steve Alvarez was there.
Several hundred fans, a number of Bronco veterans, and a head coach and an owner perched high atop a camera platform. All here in Greeley tonight to watch the rookies and free agents go at it in their first major scrimmage. In the early going, the first offense looked raggedy. Steve Sewell only got 5 yards and 4 carries. Vance Johnson didn't catch a pass, while on defense, Simon Fletcher managed to knock one down. Things may have started slow for the first offensive unit, but after a short break, they got it going awful fast. Steve Sewell finally got it going. Watch him take the ball off tackle. He cuts back across the grain, gains 30 yards, and gains some praise from Dan Reeves.
He's not familiar with the offense right now, but you can see some of the explosiveness that he has, and he also made a couple of good blocks.
That left the offense 46 yards from the end zone. Time for Vance Johnson to turn on the speed. It must be nice to see that speed of Vance Johnson going down.
Well, it was great, because when he threw the pass, it didn't look like he was going to get to it, and he really caught it very easily. So he's got a tremendous acceleration.
Johnson and Sewell were no surprises, but free agent tight end Richard Gray from Notre Dame was.
Any one big surprise out of this?
Probably Gray at tight end caught the ball very well in the scrimmage, and we really hadn't seen that much from him.
So the first major scrimmage is over. Tomorrow, the first series of major cuts. From the Broncos training camp in Greeley, Steve Alvarez, News Center 4 Sports.
Also tonight, Reuben Carter, the veteran nose guard, signed a new contract and he is in camp. Baseball tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays are putting some space between themselves and the Yankees. Toronto tonight beats Seattle again. 9th straight time they've beaten the Mariners 3-1. Philadelphia beat Houston. Von Hayes, a 2-run inside the park homer to win it. Chicago is winning. The Padres batting bottom of the 9th. Pittsburgh leads the Dodgers. Zephyrs lose tonight to Louisville 2-1. In basketball, head coach Gary Williams will stay at Boston College. He turned down a lucrative offer at Wake Forest. Dallas Maverick assistant Bob Weiss will interview for the vacant New Jersey Net job. In the big winner in sports today, Mike McGee, the free agent guard of the Lakers. He's a reserve. He re-signed with the Lakers today. 4-year deal for $1.4 million.
I thought you were going to tell us that baseball went into that phone booth and
Wednesday's child is full of spirit and splash this week. You'll meet her coming up next. She is bright, sensitive, and she is this week's Wednesday's child. At age 12, she's finally ready for parents who will love her and guide her through her teenage years. And let's meet her now. What could be better on a hot summer day than a cool swim at a local pool? 12-year-old Melinda couldn't wait to get in the water, and what better way than the water slide? Melinda has lots of energy, and her bright mind needs parents who can channel her talents into constructive activities. Parents who will help her learn to get along with her peers and overcome the anger she feels over abandonment by her mother. Foster care, the past 4 years, has really given her inner strength to deal with some of the obstacles she's faced. And now she looks forward to a new beginning, to share herself with new parents. What do you think is real special about you? Some real special things about you that you like, things about you that you like?
My personality, I don't know.
Are you pretty friendly?
Yeah.
What kind of parents have you thought about? What do you think it'll be like when you're adopted?
Scary at first, and then I'll probably get used to them.
Melinda needs mature parents experienced in parenting adolescents who will give her the nurturing and the guidance she needs. If you have such a home and would include Melinda in your life, contact the Rocky Mountain Adoption Exchange. Her name is Melinda.
Melinda seems like a very well-balanced, friendly, and nice little girl.
Genuinely nice little girl.
Let's hope she finds a nice home, huh?
Me too. News Center 4 at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Please watch us then.
Nice to have you with us on News Center 4.
Good night.
Arnold Schwarzenegger joins Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show next. And then David Letterman chats with Mickey Mantle in stereo. Tonight on Channel 4, first in stereo TV.